The beautiful woman, a graduate from a prestigious university, excelled at her job and was about to get married. Unexpectedly, on the eve of her wedding, she called off the engagement. The reason was her addiction to drinking, which her fiancé disapproved of. That night, Geum-joo got drunk again. Known as a heavy drinker who claimed she could handle her liquor like a drinking fairy, she didn't take her drunkenness seriously. After getting drunk, she danced and staggered on the street, ignoring the mocking stares of passers-by. The next morning, her fiancé complained that Geum-joo had not answered his calls the previous night. He demanded that she choose between him and alcohol. Without hesitation, Geum-joo chose alcohol and decided to call off the wedding to drink freely. Unaware of the situation, Geum-joo's mother brought food for her future son-in-law at noon, only to learn that her daughter had canceled the wedding over alcohol. When she visited her daughter's house, she found it in disarray with bottles everywhere. Geum-joo was sprawled under the living room sofa. Her mother tried to pull her up to apologize to her fiancé, but Geum-joo argued back, unable to stand his constant nagging about her drinking. Frustrated to the point of being furious, her mother couldn't believe how lightly Geum-joo was taking the cancellation of her marriage. Geum-joo even bought her mother chicken soup, declaring that marriage could go to hell as she now wanted to focus solely on her work. After taking a long 10-year break, Geum-joo had just applied to return to her job, but the company informed her that her position had been filled due to her extended absence, and her application was rejected. Now, with the wedding off and jobless, her lease expiring, and no savings, Geum-joo was destitute and homeless. Forced by reality, her mother had to take her back to their rural home. But upon arriving, her mother saw her husband and elder daughter eating meat and drinking in the yard. Her father even poured a glass of his homemade plum wine for Geum-joo. Outraged, her mother blamed her husband for her daughter's alcoholism. The year Geum-joo graduated from high school, her father introduced her to alcohol. When she got into university, he personally showed her the delights of drinking. On her first day at a major corporation, he taught her that social drinking was crucial in business life. With such an experienced drinker as a role model, it's no surprise that she developed an alcohol dependency. To protect her daughter's future, her mother banned alcohol from their home. To save face, she told neighbors that Geum-joo's broken engagement was due to issues with the groom's family. However, Geum-joo confessed to a friend over the phone that she called off the wedding because of her drinking problem. A neighbor overheard this conversation, and by midday, Geum-joo's scandal spread across the entire town, making her the subject of local gossip. Despite the gloomy days, Geum-joo took pride in one thing: her skill in auto repair. She had been a publicly recruited auto mechanic for a major company in Seoul, and was exceptionally skilled in mechanical repairs. One afternoon, while helping a friend at a car shop, she quickly identified and fixed a car problem fiercely and efficiently. She was shocked to learn the car belonged to Eui-joon, her middle school classmate and first love. Geum-joo learned from friends that Eui-joon, who had been working as a doctor at a major hospital in Seoul, had recently moved to the countryside to work at a health center. Due to the scarcity of medical resources there, he was revered as a deity by the villagers. Geum-joo was anxious and did not want Eui-joon to know about her current dire situation. On her way home, memories of her past with Eui-joon haunted her. She recalled a day in middle school when she saw that Eui-joon's bicycle was broken. Known since childhood as a repair genius, she quickly fetched her repair kit from her scooter. As she wiped the grease from her face with a handkerchief Eui-joon offered her, she fixed his bicycle, but her scooter ran out of power. Eui-joon then gave her a ride, and she quietly hugged him from behind. A serene night she would never forget. Now, Geum-joo wanted nothing more than to avoid Eui-joon. But as fate would have it, she bumped into Eui-joon. Before he could speak, Geum-joo blurted out that she had broken off her engagement due to her drinking. Surprised, Eui-joon revealed he wouldn't have known if she hadn't mentioned it. Embarrassed, Geum-joo asked to act as if they didn't know each other. Eui-joon agreed, pretending to be indifferent and walking away with a smile, but he looked back not wanting to leave, and at work, he was unusually distracted. At night, the mother scolded her daughter for her selfishness, believing she should feel guilty towards her fiancé. Geum-joo lost her temper, feeling no remorse. Unbeknownst to her mother, There was more to the broken engagement. Recently, Geum-joo had seen her fiancé secretly buying a pregnancy test. He had been cheating with another woman who was now pregnant with his child. He had planned to break the engagement to be with his mistress. Feeling betrayed, Geum-joo started drinking heavily and preemptively called off the engagement to protect her pride. Unaware of the truth, her mother took Geum-joo to a mountain temple, donating $1 million in her daughter's name, hoping for divine help to cure her of her alcoholism. Geum-joo thought her mother was crazy and ran down the mountain with her mother's phone before the transfer could be completed. Exhausted and in pain from the chase, her mother met Eui-joon, a doctor, and asked for his advice on treating alcohol dependency. Eui-joon explained that recovery starts with the person recognizing their problem. He reassured her that patience and trust from loved ones could lead to an epiphany for Geum-joo. That evening, friends invited Eui-joon to dinner, unknowingly also inviting Geum-joo to facilitate a reconciliation. The friends, unaware of the real reasons behind their fallout, blamed Geum-joo for the misunderstanding. Outside the restaurant, Geum-joo overheard them discussing her perceived immaturity and Eui-joon's disappointment. Looking at her disheveled reflection, she realized how badly she was living. Geum-joo skipped the dinner, went to a bar instead, and repeatedly drank herself into a stupor. Later, staggering on the street and crying, she wished to be a better person, but felt overwhelmed by betrayal and hurt. The family held a memorial service for the deceased grandfather, but the mother replaced the traditional liquor with spring water on the offering table. She instructed the entire family not to mention alcohol in front of Geum-joo. However, Geum-joo, drunk, stumbled into the ceremony, realizing it was for her grandfather. Ignoring her family's quiet pleas, she insisted on pouring her own liquor for her grandfather, causing a struggle that ended with the bottle at her mother's feet. Disappointed, her mother picked up the bottle, opened it, and poured out the liquor before physically reprimanding her daughter. The next day, Geum-joo woke up sober in Eui-joon's health clinic, wearing only a light tank top. Eui-joon reminded her of the previous night's events. After being beaten by her mother at the ceremony, Geum-joo had fled outside. While walking, she stepped on something dirty and went to the lakeside to clean her shoe soles, accidentally throwing her sandals into the river and slipping, causing a minor car accident to avoid hitting her. The driver was Eui-joon, who had to carry the unconscious Geum-joo back to his place, resulting in his car being wrecked and his foot injured. He vowed to settle the score with her. Meanwhile, a friend called Geum-joo's mother, who, unaware of the actual events, thought her daughter had drowned in the lake. Her parents waited desperately by the lake until they saw their daughter alive. Overwhelmed by the emotional roller coaster, her mother exclaimed in distress, wishing she could just die. The next day, a gossiping woman overheard Eui-joon's conversation with a friend. In no time, the news that Geum-joo's drunken behavior had caused Eui-joon's foot injury spread throughout the village. Geum-joo became the talk of the town again. Eui-joon unapologetically sent Geum-joo a list of damages for compensation. Moreover, Geum-joo had to drive for Eui-joon, who was now mobility impaired, for free. Eui-joon was conducting free medical clinics for the elderly around the village. When an elderly villager became ill and couldn't work, Eui-joon pointed to Geum-joo to volunteer for a day's farm work. Geum-joo did everything from harvesting cabbages and spraying pesticides to cleaning animal waste and even hanging clothes. After a busy day, she still had the energy to ask Eui-joon why he left a successful life in Seoul for hardships in the countryside. Eui-joon retorted, noting that Geum-joo, once a top mechanic at a major Seoul company, was also during hardships in the countryside. Speechless, Geum-joo reflected on her own setbacks, including her broken engagement and career frustrations. She was the best mechanic at her company, yet a promotion was given to someone else due to gender discrimination and concerns over future maternity leave. Frustrated, she took paid leave, and her then-fiancé had assured her he could support her if she resigned. Now, she found such promises laughable. Eui-joon also advised Geum-joo to quit drinking, to which she yelled back, challenging him to quit first. It turned out Eui-joon was formerly known as a legendary drinker who had even outdrank the skilled Geum-joo. But now, friends revealed Seo Eui-joon was abstinent. Geum-joo was puzzled by his sudden change, not just quitting alcohol, but also moving to a remote area to work as a rural doctor. A friend provided a crucial clue, revealing that Seo Eui-joon was pushed out of a professorship and had also been betrayed by his fiancée, according to internal social networks at the Seoul hospital where he previously worked. Although a friend doubted the credibility of these infidelity rumors, Geum-joo felt they rang true, knowing all too well that real life could be more dramatic than soap operas. On her way home, Geum-joo saw Seo Eui-joon standing by the lake, lost in thought. She had once told him that a lakeside breeze could heal a troubled mind. Thinking of Seo Eui-joon's lonely figure that night, Geum-joo tossed and turned in bed. Like her, Seo Eui-joon had tried hard, but was betrayed. The next morning, Geum-joo brought Seo Eui-joon a homemade lunchbox, believing he needed company. She also shared Steve Jobs' inspiring story to motivate him, proclaiming that Seo Eui-joon had a bright future ahead. However, Seo Eui-joon was skeptical, suspecting the erratic Geum-joo had been drinking again. Frustrated, Geum-joo told herself not to be too kind in the future, yet couldn't help herself. She bluntly suggested Seo Eui-joon return to the major hospital in Seoul, encouraging him not to hide away like a victim. Right after her encouragement, Geum-joo received messages from friends clarifying that the pitiful doctor discussed in the hospital community was not Seo Eui-joon but another doctor with the same surname. After this mix-up, Geum-joo tried to brush off the situation with a few words, but Seo Eui-joon insisted she apologize. He believed that even if he were the subject of those discussions, Geum-joo had no right to meddle in his life. With a rueful smile, Geum-joo apologized, realizing she had once again overstepped their relationship. Years ago, Seo Eui-joon had told her the same thing, viewing her actions as an intrusion. Now, feeling like she had made a terrible mistake, Geum-joo was overwhelmed with regret. Unbeknownst to her, Seo Eui-joon also had a lot on his mind that night. The next morning, Geum-joo saw a reminder on her phone and realized it was her ex-fiancé's birthday. She hurriedly drove to Seoul. 3 months earlier, oblivious to his infidelity, she had pre-ordered a birthday cake for him. On the way, the cake shop messaged to inform her that the delivery was in progress. As she neared her ex-fiancé's building, she pushed the pedal to the floor but arrived just moments too late. The delivery person had just completed the drop-off. Geum-joo quietly slipped to her ex-fiancé's front door, relieved to find him not at home. She quickly retrieved a cake left at the door, thankful it hadn't reached the scoundrel yet. But just then, the elevator opened, and she came face to face with her ex and his mistress, who was carrying a maternity handbook. This confrontation led him to finally admit his infidelity. Realizing that Geum-joo had known about his betrayal, she angrily threw the cake on the floor, grateful she hadn't married such a man. Her ex's pride was hurt, and he warned her not to push further. Unyielding, Geum-joo picked up the cake and smashed it in his face. The encounter led Geum-joo to break her sobriety and drown her sorrows in alcohol. That same night, she recalled Seo Eui-joon's advice from years ago to mind her own business rather than worry about others. Meanwhile, Seo Eui-joon, riding in a car with a friend, hastily handed his friend the earphone when he realized the call might be from Geum-joo, pretending not to care while listening intently. His friend noticed Seo Eui-joon's concern for Geum-joo. Later that night, a very drunk Geum-joo encountered Seo Eui-joon and tried to explain that her drinking was a coping mechanism. Seo Eui-joon harshly suggested she was just looking for an excuse to drink. A friend also urged Geum-joo to be more reliable, to which she sadly responded, wishing she could indeed be more dependable. Unbeknownst to her, Seo Eui-joon's fridge was also full of soju, and that night, after many days sober, Seo Eui-joon broke his abstinence. Geum-joo was unaware that years ago, after out-drinking her, Seo Eui-joon had carried her on his back with a gentle tone, confessing that he wanted to take care of her wholeheartedly in the future. A friend came to the healthcare center to see Seo Eui-joon, hoping he would stop being angry at Geum-joo. They confessed that Geum-joo still cared about him as much as before. Seo Eui-joon sighed and couldn't help recalling memories related to Geum-joo. When Seo Eui-joon's grandmother passed away years ago, Geum-joo had arrived earlier than him to pay respects. Seeing Seo Eui-joon had brought the wrong liquor, Han Geum-joo took out the grandmother's favorite rice wine she had prepared in advance and personally poured it for her. The first snow fell on the mountain that day, and Seo Eui-joon would never forget how beautiful Han Geum-joo looked then. Now meeting Han Geum-joo again, Seo Eui-joon only felt sorrow in his heart. Han Geum-joo explained again that drinking in Seoul that night had been unavoidable. Seo Eui-joon chose to believe her but requested she take an alcohol addiction test. Han Geum-joo refused, declaring she wasn't a hopeless alcoholic. Seo Eui-joon didn't insist further, but Han Geum-joo couldn't resist asking why he suddenly quit drinking. Instead of answering, Seo Eui-joon told her to continue accompanying him on medical outreach the next day. The following day during the outreach, seeing Seo Eui-joon's gentle care for patients made Han Geum-joo more confused about why he left his successful life in Seoul for the countryside. When Seo Eui-joon's voice suddenly came from behind, Han Geum-joo turned and slipped, but he caught her in time. In that instant, both recalled a similar moment from years past. While fixing the car at night, Han Geum-joo complained about her bad luck as parts kept falling under the vehicle. Suddenly, she received a notification. The wedding venue had exceptionally refunded her deposit due to the canceled ceremony. Without questioning the exception, Han Geum-joo celebrated gleefully. In her good mood, she perfectly repaired Seo Eui-joon's car. When Seo Eui-joon thanked her, Han Geum-joo casually offered to test drive the vehicle. As she sang and swayed to the music while driving, Seo Eui-joon couldn't hide the affection in his eyes watching her joyful expression. After getting out, Han Geum-joo dragged Seo Eui-joon to a mall, wanting to buy him clothes with the wedding refund. Learning she unexpectedly gained this money, Seo Eui-joon declined the clothes and suggested she shop for herself instead. Han Geum-joo was determined to spend all her money at once, buying clothes for every family member. Seo Eui-joon carried the shopping bags but noticed blisters on her ankles from hours of shopping. He immediately knelt to apply bandages. Unable to meet his gentle gaze, Han Geum-joo averted her eyes. Fireworks illuminated the sky. Han Geum-joo stared at the romantic spectacle like an awestruck child. Seo Eui-joon, meanwhile, was swept into memories how he'd once carried a drunken Han Geum-joo, their proximity shattering his composure. Back then, he'd confessed his feelings and kissed her. Han Geum-joo hadn't resisted, letting the night's romance engulf them. After shopping that evening, they dined together. Watching a neighboring woman sip wine, Han Geum-joo burned with envy. Noticing Seo Eui-joon's calm indifference to alcohol, she pressed again. "How did you quit drinking?" He dodged the question, instead demanding to know where her money came from. Han Geum-joo admitted it was the refunded wedding venue deposit. A windfall. She planned to splurge for a fresh start. Seo Eui-joon dampened her mood, scolding her for disregarding the ex-fiancé she'd wronged. Still hiding her betrayal, Han Geum-joo stayed silent. Misunderstanding. Seo Eui-joon insisted on paying the bill, refusing to enable her callousness. To him, Han Geum-joo always discarded others' sincerity. After their kiss, friends assumed they were dating, but she repeatedly clarified they were just friends, claiming she only cared for him because he had no family to rely on. Overhearing this, Seo Eui-joon had sighed and pocketed the engagement ring he'd intended to give her. That morning, Han Geum-joo's mother unexpectedly found receipts from her husband and daughters. After questioning the store, she learned all three had secretly gone drinking. Determined to force sobriety, she kicked them out, ordering them to attend a mountain alcohol rehab camp. Helpless, the trio lugged their bags to a temple for isolated detox, surrendering phones, chanting odd prayers with monks daily. After agonizing meditation sessions, they finally regained phone access. Han Geum-joo saw a misdirected message. Her ex-fiancé was holding his wedding at the hotel she'd originally booked. Same date, same venue, only the bride changed. She laughed bitterly, realizing the refund was his compensation. Now she understood Seo Eui-joon's warning. This money wasn't a windfall, but a curse. Meanwhile, Seo Eui-joon encountered Han Geum-joo's ex-fiancé while escorting a pregnant woman to the hospital. Seeing the man beside his mistress in labor, he finally grasped why Han Geum-joo had drunkenly fled home, and that he'd misjudged her. On the rehab camp's third day, Han Geum-joo vanished. Seo Eui-joon found her brooding in their familiar forest spot. When he urged her to leave, she stood but crumpled weakly. He rushed to check on her, only for Geum-joo to collapse, sobbing into his arms. Rain fell. Eui-joon took off his coat to shield her. Drunk and unrestrained, Geum-joo murmured against his chest. Yet by morning, she claimed total amnesia, casually dismissing her drunken ramblings, only to hide around a corner afterward, slapping her own face in frustration, desperately trying to recall what she'd confessed. Geum-joo gave the clothes bought yesterday to her family and tried to convince her mother to abandon the idea of making her quit drinking, insisting she couldn't live without alcohol. Her mother forced a laugh through suppressed anger she had converted to Christianity, determined to save her fallen daughter through God's power. Eui-joon's friends and community health center nurses privately gossiped about Geum-joo, calling her alcohol-obsessed. Hearing this, Eui-joon intervened, urging them not to judge without understanding. Recalling how Geum-joo had leaned on him in the forest yesterday, he resolved to help her escape her darkness. That day, Eui-joon contacted Geum-joo and handed her an alcohol addiction diagnostic test. After scoring it, he found her results exceeded the worst criteria of full-blown alcoholism. He begged her to seek treatment, but Geum-joo shrugged it off, claiming to be a highly sensible wine enthusiast. Since Eui-joon was giving an alcoholism lecture at the county office that night, he called Geum-joo's mother directly, knowing Geum-joo wouldn't attend. Under maternal coercion, Geum-joo and her family reluctantly went. Watching Eui-joon speak on stage, Geum-joo kept replaying yesterday's forest incident, worrying she'd seduced him or revealed too much. Exhausted after the lecture, they saw female clerks fawning over Eui-joon. His handsome face made him popular locally. Geum-joo felt a pang of irritation. Later at home, Geum-joo rallied her father and sister to confront her mother, declaring they couldn't endure this damned sober life another day. Her mother suppressed her fury, smiling tightly while preaching love and persistence. Encouraged by her softened stance, the trio foolishly pushed back harder against the alcohol ban. Finally snapping, their mother chased them with a kitchen knife, swinging wildly. The next day, a friend from the auto repair shop messaged Geum-joo for help. She agreed immediately. At the shop, she quickly discovered a man trying to sell a water-damaged car as a normal used vehicle. The deal collapsed because of her intervention. Enraged, the man shoved her to the ground, demanding compensation. Geum-joo wasn't one to back down. Without hesitation, she grabbed a cart and charged at the man, roaring. The man hammed it up, pretending to have a broken bone to extort money. At the health center, Eui-joon examined the man and recognized the scam, deliberately declaring the man completely unharmed and exceptionally healthy. He then inspected Geum-joo's injured palm, remarking this hand deserved a medical certificate instead. After defending Geum-joo publicly, Eui-joon brought her late-night snacks in the evening. He lied that the shop owner gave it for free, though he'd specifically chosen it for her. As Geum-joo happily ate, he urged her again to quit drinking. She cut him off. How else can I survive this cruel world without alcohol? Standing up, her body ached all over, bruises from being thrown around visible. Eui-joon softened his voice. Wherever you're hurt, I want you healed quickly. His words kept Geum-joo awake all night. She wondered if he knew her secret about being cheated on. Suddenly recalling fragments from yesterday's forest conversation, had she confessed her ex-fiancé's betrayal? But no, she decided. Even blackout drunk, she'd never let him see her lowest point. Just as she debated texting Eui-joon for clarity, a phone reminder popped up. Today was originally her wedding day. That day, Geum-joo's father pulled a crumpled paper from his suit pocket. After a moment of reluctance, he tossed it away. Geum-joo happened to pick it up, discovering it was the wedding speech he'd written for her. The heartfelt words described her as a gift and expressed regret that his failures as a father had caused her suffering, hoping her future husband would bring her lasting happiness. Reading it, Geum-joo burst into tears. Nearby, Eui-joon quietly watched her heartbroken scene with aching sympathy. Geum-joo then received a call. The shuttle bus meant to transport guests to the wedding venue had mistakenly driven to their hometown. She'd remembered to cancel the venue but forgotten about the bus reservation, As villagers gathered around the vehicle whispering, her mother's face flushed with humiliation, harshly rebuking her daughter. Seo Eui-joon rushed over, lying that he had instructed Han Geum-joo not to cancel the bus so elderly health center patients could use it for an outing. Under everyone's gaze, he pulled Han Geum-joo onto the bus. Inside, crates of celebratory beer awaited. Han Geum-joo murmured that guests would have enjoyed these at her wedding. Halfway through the ride, she abruptly dragged Seo Eui-joon off the bus, telling him she needed to go somewhere alone. His foreboding proved correct. Han Geum-joo soon arrived at her ex-fiancé's wedding. At the hotel, the man who'd betrayed Han Geum-joo basked in marital bliss. She stormed forward and smashed a liquor bottle against the scumbag's forehead. After the confrontation, Han Geum-joo wandered to a park alone with alcohol. Rain poured as she trudged miserably with beer crates, bottles slipping from her grasp. Staring at the shattered glass, fragmented memories surfaced. In the forest yesterday, she'd told Seo Eui-joon she wanted to quit drinking and stop living like this. Drenched in the night rain, Han Geum-joo stood utterly isolated until Seo Eui-joon appeared holding an umbrella. She smiled bitterly, saying she'd thought no one would ever shelter her from life's storms. Facing Seo Eui-joon's unwavering warmth, Han Geum-joo made a resolution to quit drinking and start living properly again. After a workplace dinner, the drunken superior, filled with lecherous thoughts, reached toward his subordinate's abdomen. Unexpectedly, the subordinate wasn't an office pushover. She mercilessly slapped the shameless superior. Han Geum-joo reflected deeply and resolved to quit drinking. Seo Eui-joon also decided to fully support her. Inspired, her father and sister jointly embarked on sobriety. Before quitting alcohol, the father and 2 daughters underwent blood tests at the health center. Seo Eui-joon revealed all 3 had abnormal liver levels, warning that continued drinking would lead to cirrhosis. The first step was disposing all alcohol at home. Their mother claimed she'd smashed every bottle, yet Seo Eui-joon wore a skeptical expression. True to his suspicions, the 3 veteran drinkers had hidden alcohol everywhere, from toilet tanks to the dog's bed. Most remarkably, Han Geum-joo stored liquor in skincare toner bottles, taking swigs during morning makeup routines, pretending to apply skincare when caught. To sever Han Geum-joo's alcohol cravings, Seo Eui-joon challenged her to a running race. The loser would treat drinks. Mid-race, Han Geum-joo feigned a stomachache and leg cramp. Falling for the act, Seo Eui-joon let her sprint ahead. He treated her to chilled water, promising, "If you endure a week sober, I'll grant any wish." To support her abstinence, Seo Eui-joon arranged an outing with 2 friends to a completely alcohol-free zone. Arriving at the scenic spot with drinking bans, Han Geum-joo and friends admired the beautiful views, noticing her empty water bottle during rest. Seo Eui-joon pretended his was nearly empty too, volunteering to refill both. Friends recognized Seo Eui-joon's special care for Han Geum-joo, speculating he'd overcome past emotional barriers. Otherwise, why single her out? Curious about their former falling out, they pressed for details. Han Geum-joo vaguely explained, "I was the one who got cut off." When Seo Eui-joon returned with water, the group took photos and played in the scenic area. While descending a slope, Seo Eui-joon extended his hand toward Han Geum-joo. Han Geum-joo naturally placed her hand in his. Seo Eui-joon then gave her an encouraging smile, fearing Han Geum-joo might catch cold. Seo Eui-joon carefully zipped up her jacket. This gesture transported Han Geum-joo back years ago, when Seo Eui-joon had similarly comforted her after a lost competition. He took her to Han River, draped his coat over her shoulders, healing her dejection with gentle actions. At that time, Han Geum-joo's gaze at Seo Eui-joon overflowed with warmth and affection. After their fallout, Han Geum-joo revisited Han River alone. The unchanged scenery no longer comforted her. She realized then, her healing hadn't come from the view, but from Seo Eui-joon. That evening, reviewing trip photos at home, Han Geum-joo felt contentment and joy. Another successful alcohol-free day. Suddenly, a colleague messaged, reminding her to attend a mandatory work dinner. A difficult superior assigned to lead Han Geum-joo's team, reportedly vindictive. Though currently on leave, attendance was crucial for reinstatement, required to save face for the superior. The dilemma. Alcohol consumption at such events proved unavoidable. Han Geum-joo brainstormed excuses about driving to avoid drinking. But Seo Eui-joon countered each plan from the superior's perspective. Drunk drivers can hire substitutes. Frustrated, Han Geum-joo received Seo Eui-joon's advice. Simply state you're quitting alcohol. Beyond strategizing, Seo Eui-joon fabricated a Seoul trip to accompany her. Arriving in Seoul, he reinforced his support. Choosing sobriety itself demonstrates remarkable strength. Protect this hard-won resolve. Inspired by Seo Eui-joon's words, Han Geum-joo resisted drinking urges at the dinner. But soon the superior provoked her, pouring alcohol. Han Geum-joo hastily covered her glass, declaring sobriety. The superior laughed dismissively. Swearing an eternal drinker couldn't truly abstain. Han Geum-joo fiercely guarded her resolve. Quoting Seo Eui-joon's advice, "Drinking would kill me." Only then did the superior relent. As the dinner concluded, the drunken superior cornered Han Geum-joo, secretively asking, "Who's the father?" Han Geum-joo's sobriety had sparked false assumptions. He mistook her alcohol-free stance for pregnancy, even accused her of canceling engagement due to another man. Han Geum-joo's explanations fell on deaf ears. The superior reached for her abdomen. She dodged, condemning him as scum. When he pursued her, Seo Eui-joon intercepted, restraining him. Fearing Han Geum-joo might regain her fiery spirit, she slapped the superior, urging him to act human. Returning home, Han Geum-joo seethed with anger. Noticing this, Seo Eui-joon detoured to Han River, hoping the location would calm her. Nightscapes remained enchanting. Observing their intertwined shadows on the ground, Han Geum-joo's mood instantly eased. Her phone chimed a notification. 1 full week of successful sobriety, Han Geum-joo thanked Seo Eui-joon, crediting him for sustaining her resolve. Beyond gratitude, she demanded he honor their pact. "Fulfill my wish now." Her request proved simple, yet profound. "Why did you cut ties with me back then?" She sought clarity about their estrangement. Meeting her gaze earnestly, Seo Eui-joon answered, "Because I liked you too much." Years ago, Seo Eui-joon had cherished Han Geum-joo, but overheard her describing him as pitiful, needing care. Heartbroken, he chose overseas study exchange, departing after delivering harsh words to protect his pride, thus severing ties with the woman he loved. Now Seo Eui-joon apologized for past hurts, yet insisted Han Geum-joo shouldn't misunderstand, claiming his feelings were history. But hidden reasons remained. Originally, Seo Eui-joon intended to wait for Han Geum-joo's emotional readiness, until his estranged father demanded debt repayment. During their argument, the father discovered Seo Eui-joon's confession letter. To protect Han Geum-joo, Seo Eui-joon chose departure, deliberately delivering cruel final words, "Stop meddling in my affairs." Unbeknownst to Han Geum-joo, Seo Eui-joon hid weeping in shadows after their confrontation. Now learning his past devotion, Han Geum-joo tossed restlessly all night. Truthfully, she'd harbored feelings too, but youthful ignorance had obscured her own heart. After a night of bizarre dreams, Han Geum-joo felt drained. Seo Eui-joon diagnosed alcohol withdrawal at the health center. Yet beyond physical symptoms, Han Geum-joo grappled with reactions to Seo Eui-joon himself. When he cradled her flushed cheeks, her heartbeat accelerated uncontrollably. At this moment, the superior who harassed Han Geum-joo shamelessly sent hospitalized photos, threatening to hold her accountable for injuries caused by her slap. Han Geum-joo fumed at his false accusations. She immediately called, vowing to retrieve surveillance footage. But the superior had prepared. No cameras covered where he harassed her. Fortunately, Seo Eui-joon's car dashcam captured the superior's misconduct. Han Geum-joo sent the video evidence back, counter-threatening legal action, warning him to prepare consequences. The superior cursed Han Geum-joo's wickedness, yet abandoned hospitalization, halting retaliation plans, expressing gratitude to Seo Eui-joon. Han Geum-joo noticed his dashcam's timestamp, revealing he'd waited outside her dinner venue since early evening. Han Geum-joo's lips curved involuntarily. The next day, Han Geum-joo's mother left for Seoul, shopping alone. After finishing guesthouse chores, a drone suddenly buzzed before Han Geum-joo, owned by the health center nurse. The nurse clearly disliked Han Geum-joo, especially resenting her closeness with CEO Eui-joon, controlling the drone to chase her relentlessly. A townsgirl explained. The nurse shared profound history with CEO Eui-joon. During his Seoul doctor days, she consistently supported him, reportedly his sole reliable person. When Seo Eui-joon resigned and moved to rural health center, the nurse followed without hesitation. Han Geum-joo felt green-eyed about their bond. Meanwhile, mentioning her mother's impulsive Seoul trip, Seo Eui-joon revealed. He encouraged Han Geum-joo's mother to relax in Seoul. Occasionally, she desired abandoning burdens for city life, yet constantly worried about family. Seo Eui-joon comforted her. Prioritize self-care first. Only through personal happiness can you better care for others. His deeper motive: preventing maternal depression from excessive family duties, urging Han Geum-joo to treat her mother kindly. Han Geum-joo felt a pang in her heart. Returning home to find her mother's shoes worn out, she felt an instant ache. Remembering Seo Eui-joon's advice, Han Geum-joo messaged her mother, transferring happiness support funds, encouraging her to enjoy Seoul freely, urging her to buy stylish new shoes. Reading her daughter's words, the mother's depression vanished instantly, joyfully boasting to friends about the allowance, planning a delightful trip with companions. The next day, Han Geum-joo intended to service the medical vehicle, but a wobbling truck behind them spilled cargo abruptly. Seo Eui-joon swerved sharply to avoid collision, shielding Han Geum-joo with his arm. His shoulder sustained injury. Han Geum-joo applied ointment, blowing softly on the wound. Seo Eui-joon's gaze met hers. Their eyes locked momentarily. The atmosphere grew warm and charged. Han Geum-joo excused herself nervously, allowing Seo Eui-joon to regain composure, recalling his protective gesture. Han Geum-joo's heart kept pounding. She knew this wasn't withdrawal symptoms. Attempting calmness, she serviced Seo Eui-joon's car, discovering a traffic ticket inside, issued at her ex-fiancé's wedding hotel. Confirming with the venue, she learned Seo Eui-joon had intentionally blocked the groom's car, delaying the honeymoon departure. Han Geum-joo realized Seo Eui-joon knew her true reason for canceling the engagement. Assuming his help stemmed from pity, dejected, she headed to a night stall for alcohol. Fortunately, her mother's message arrived. Face hardships by leaning on me instead of drinks. I believe you'll conquer sobriety. Blossom into your own beautiful life. Reading these heartfelt words, Han Geum-joo lowered her glass. That evening, awaiting her mother's return from Seoul, Han Geum-joo brought thoughtful gifts, only to find her mother drunkenly slumped. Meanwhile, Seo Eui-joon consulted police about the truck accident. Investigators found its license plate deliberately concealed. Seo Eui-joon grew uneasy. The driver resembled his father. Haunted by this suspicion, he suffered nightmares that night. Visions of his father harming Han Geum-joo. Late at night, a beautiful woman was heading home after work when she noticed a car following her. The car approached aggressively. It braked sharply in front of her, blocking her path. Then, the driver grabbed an iron bar and smashed her car window forcefully. Yesterday, Han Geum-joo reconciled with her mother. Unexpectedly, she saw her mother, who normally abstained from alcohol, getting drunk. Her mother was dead drunk. While Han Geum-joo was worried, an aunt called. From the aunt, Han Geum-joo learned the reason her mother got drunk. It turned out the aunt forgot that Han Geum-joo had called off the engagement and attended the wedding as usual. Consequently, she heard about the groom's infidelity. She later told Han Geum-joo's mother. Realizing the true reason her daughter canceled the engagement was not alcohol but betrayal, her mother felt guilty. She blamed herself for being a terrible mother, only criticizing her daughter. Han Geum-joo's father heard about this and was furious. He rushed out the door, vowing to demand an explanation for his daughter. Han Geum-joo tried to stop her father. Seeing her family crying their hearts out over her situation, Han Geum-joo felt uneasy. She quickly walked towards Seo Eui-joon. She threw herself onto Seo Eui-joon's shoulder and cried freely. Seo Eui-joon gently patted Han Geum-joo's back. He believed her family would understand her decision. Han Geum-joo let out a long sigh of relief. Thankfully, Seo Eui-joon had already known her secret. At this moment, she could confide freely. Besides her family, hometown friends who learned the real reason Han Geum-joo called off the engagement also felt it was unfair to her. They decided to hold a barbecue party for her before she left. At the party, the friends declared they had already consulted a fortune teller for Han Geum-joo. According to them, Han Geum-joo will win successive victories and enjoy great luck this year. The fortune teller's words proved true very soon. Han Geum-joo quickly received a call from the real estate agent, informing her that her wedding apartment in Seoul had been successfully transferred, and a new tenant was found. This time returning, Han Geum-joo did not plan to continue living in her previous house. Instead, she planned to rent a new place to start afresh. Friends sang and danced to bid Han Geum-joo farewell. In excitement, her mother suggested having a drink, but Han Geum-joo proactively declined. From now on, no matter what happens, she will continue abstaining from alcohol. She wants to welcome her smooth journey to great fortune with a clear mind. Fellow villagers, reflecting on past misunderstandings about Han Geum-joo, gathered a group and grabbed pots and pans, intending to collectively take revenge on the scumbag who hurt Han Geum-joo. Seeing the villagers filled with righteous indignation over her situation, Han Geum-joo smiled with relief. Had she known it would be like this, she wouldn't have clung so tightly to pointless pride back then. She wouldn't have endured this damned grievance alone. Han Geum-joo received an erroneously sent contract from the real estate agent and discovered the new tenant renting her place was actually Seo Eui-joon. To let Han Geum-joo live without burdens, Seo Eui-joon had long ago arranged things with the agent. Han Geum-joo suddenly felt Seo Eui-joon's reliability. Simultaneously, she decided not to terminate the lease anymore and to keep living in her previous residence. She resolved to confront her bleak past head-on and charge forward toward a bright future. Only one thing mattered. Han Geum-joo hoped Seo Eui-joon would show her less concern going forward. She mistook Seo Eui-joon's help and support for mere pity. The day arrived for Han Geum-joo to return to Seoul and smoothly resume work. At the Seoul company, Han Geum-joo showcased her car repair talent as always. The superior who had previously harassed Han Geum-joo not only apologized to her, but also dramatically changed his attitude toward her. When colleagues planned a gathering after work to celebrate Han Geum-joo's return, the superior seemingly kindly reminded everyone about Han Geum-joo's sobriety pledge. He vowed to change the excessive drinking culture at company dinners. However, the arrival of good fortune didn't mean the end of crises. Back in their hometown, Seo Eui-joon wanted to message Han Geum-joo, but after some thought, he refrained. A nurse saw through Seo Eui-joon's thoughts and encouraged him to bravely express his feelings, warning him not to miss fate's chance again. But Seo Eui-joon had reservations, fearing his father might reappear like a demon. His father, who once had a gambling addiction, caused trouble at Seo Eui-joon's hospital. During the conflict, he accidentally injured a nurse. Regarding the recent truck accident, Seo Eui-joon had already inquired with the police. He feared the one who caused the accident might be his terrifying father. The police discovered that the truck owner had been tailing Seo Eui-joon all day that day. A bad feeling arose in Seo Eui-joon's heart. Han Geum-joo was driving home after work when she noticed a truck following her closely. Just as she grew worried, the truck driver slammed on his brakes, rapidly closing in on Han Geum-joo. He smashed her car window with an iron bar in his hand. Fortunately, Seo Eui-joon arrived just in time. After a struggle, he subdued the man. However, the attacker was not Seo Eui-joon's father. It was a man who, with Seo Eui-joon's help, had tried to quit drinking but had lost his family because of it. He was taking out his resentment on innocent people. Seo Eui-joon went to the hospital to visit the injured Han Geum-joo, only to learn she had already been discharged in a hurry. As he left the hospital, Seo Eui-joon happened to see Han Geum-joo just getting into a taxi. Unable to call out to her in time, he phoned Han Geum-joo. Han Geum-joo was nonchalant and didn't take the night's event seriously. Seo Eui-joon, however, looked worried. He grabbed Han Geum-joo, insisting she return to the hospital. Han Geum-joo refused. Instead, she asked Seo Eui-joon to stop being overly concerned about her in the future. She didn't want to misinterpret his kindness for affection like she did before. Faced with Han Geum-joo's misunderstanding, Seo Eui-joon finally stopped hiding his feelings. He quickly stepped forward and embraced the person he liked. As Han Geum-joo turned around, Seo Eui-joon couldn't resist kissing her, and Han Geum-joo couldn't refuse either. A shooting star streaked across the night sky. The happiness of this moment seemed to arrive with perfect timing. The two confirmed their feelings for each other and began dating sweetly from then on. Seo Eui-joon would rush out to see Han Geum-joo the moment he received her message. Even though it was just a brief nighttime date, Han Geum-joo changed out of her pajamas into nice clothes. She wanted Seo Eui-joon to see her at her prettiest. While walking, Seo Eui-joon quietly grabbed Han Geum-joo's hand. Han Geum-joo would also show her cute side in front of Seo Eui-joon. In Seoul, Han Geum-joo seemed to have entered a streak of good luck. Her superior informed her he was strongly recommending her for a promotion. Lost in love, Han Geum-joo viewed the world naively. She believed the superior had reformed. She was convinced she was now on a path paved with flowers in both love and career. After work one evening, Han Geum-joo saw Seo Eui-joon had come to Seoul to pick her up. Overwhelmed, Han Geum-joo dove into Seo Eui-joon's embrace. Seo Eui-joon also refused to let go. As they neared her home, Seo Eui-joon grabbed her hand and invited Han Geum-joo to his place. Realizing what might happen, Han Geum-joo glanced at her underwear. Fortunately, she was wearing a matching set that night. Seo Eui-joon made delicious food for Han Geum-joo, but when he turned around, he saw Han Geum-joo had already fallen asleep propped against the table. Seo Eui-joon gazed at her fondly, gently supporting her. He planted a kiss on her forehead. The next day, Han Geum-joo woke up in Seo Eui-joon's bed. She saw her clothes were still neatly on. Instantly frantic, she regretted not seizing the chance during their alone time the night before. During breakfast, Han Geum-joo asked Seo Eui-joon why he didn't wake her up. She had been ready. Without waiting for Seo Eui-joon's reply, Han Geum-joo spoke in a suggestive tone and kept leaning closer to him. Seo Eui-joon couldn't control his emotions. Suddenly, a noise came from outside. The two ran out to look, and realized someone seemed to have been spying on their intimate moment. Based on the familiar-looking bowl dropped on the ground, they were pondering when the friend's sister made a move to hit Han Geum-joo. It turned out the sister had witnessed the intimate scene. The sister thought Han Geum-joo was developing a relationship with her own brother, and scolded Han Geum-joo for two-timing. Fortunately, Seo Eui-joon and others arrived in time to pull them apart. Facing the sister's misunderstanding, Han Geum-joo shouted to clarify. Unexpectedly, this was overheard by the village elders. With the elders' lightning-fast gossip speed, their relationship was completely exposed to the whole village. Wearing matching outfits, Han Geum-joo and Seo Eui-joon rode the village sightseeing boat together. Gazing at the sunlit sky before her, Han Geum-joo felt like she was in a romantic dream. Amid the warmth of their passionate love, they shared their first intimacy. While enjoying her relationship, Han Geum-joo successfully got promoted within the company. Her abilities were finally recognized. But unexpectedly, bad news arrived too. Han Geum-joo was summoned by the company's legal department. They presented a video showing Han Geum-joo allegedly hitting her drunken superior, demanding she confirm the incident. Only then did Han Geum-joo realize it was the seemingly reformed superior who submitted the video to report her. Outwardly, the superior had changed his attitude toward Han Geum-joo, but secretly he filed a complaint accusing Han Geum-joo of assaulting him. The legal department warned Han Geum-joo that if the accusation was substantiated, her promotion would be revoked. Han Geum-joo immediately contacted the superior, but a friend informed her the superior already planned to resign. Han Geum-joo confronted the superior. The superior admitted his actions, but still refused to acknowledge he was at fault first. He claimed he had merely touched Han Geum-joo's stomach and nothing more. Han Geum-joo demanded he withdraw the complaint. The superior then challenged Han Geum-joo to a drinking contest at the table, stating if Han Geum-joo won, he would obediently withdraw it. To safeguard her hard-earned promotion, Han Geum-joo had to break her long-standing no-alcohol rule. She engaged in a fierce drinking competition with the superior. Hours later, a drunken Han Geum-joo was awakened by a friend. The superior had already left. Fortunately, Han Geum-joo had won. Before the superior left, Han Geum-joo nearly threw a punch at him. She told him not to live so pathetically from now on. The same day, Seo Eui-joon received a call from his hospital senior. The senior had coincidentally seen Seo Eui-joon's father at a nursing home. Seo Eui-joon went to the nursing home to confirm, but a nurse there told him no such person existed. Seo Eui-joon left disappointed, unaware that his most trusted nurse was currently inside that nursing home. The nurse went to the nursing home's basement, opened a locked door, and revealed Seo Eui-joon's father imprisoned inside. Facing Seo Eui-joon's father, the nurse shed her usually kind facade, appearing to harbor hatred toward both Seo Eui-joon and his father. Geum-joo was heavily drunk, her mood at rock bottom. Her long-maintained alcohol abstinence had been broken. It seemed her good luck this year was ending here. Then Seo Eui-joon approached and draped a coat over Geum-joo, but didn't scold her for drinking. In her daze, Geum-joo had a nightmare. She dreamed Seo Eui-joon walked into the sea, drifting apart from her. A divorced woman with 2 children was pursued by a handsome single man from the village. He launched a vigorous pursuit of her. However, no one thought well of this relationship. Yesterday, in order to win a bet with her superior, Geum-joo, who had worked hard to quit drinking, became heavily intoxicated again. Waking from a nightmare, Geum-joo discovered she was inexplicably on a beach. When Seo Eui-joon called then, to avoid him discovering she had been drinking the previous night, Geum-joo hurriedly covered herself with her coat to muffle the sound of the crashing waves around her. She then lied to Seo Eui-joon, saying she was just about to go to work. Before work, Geum-joo went to a restaurant to sober up. Who would have thought that upon returning to retrieve her phone, she saw Seo Eui-joon sitting inside the restaurant holding her phone? The owner had called Seo Eui-joon. While hesitating whether to confess, Geum-joo saw the news. Her superior, with whom she had competed in drinking the night before, had been caught drunk driving. He had even lost his job because of it. Geum-joo mustered the courage to explain the previous night's events to Seo Eui-joon. She hadn't wanted to drink to seize an opportunity, but only hoped that by drinking, she could end the workplace injustice once and for all. Fearing Seo Eui-joon would be disappointed in her, she was surprised to find the opposite was true. Seo Eui-joon did not blame Geum-joo. Instead, he angrily condemned her superior for being terrible. Regarding Geum-joo, Seo Eui-joon remained fully confident, believing his girlfriend would definitely succeed in quitting drinking. To celebrate his girlfriend's promotion and raise, Seo Eui-joon encouraged Geum-joo to take leave that day. Seizing the opportunity, the two rode bikes and played by the sea. While cycling, Seo Eui-joon couldn't help looking back at Geum-joo, nearly causing an accident. Recalling last night's nightmare, Geum-joo grew worried about Seo Eui-joon. She demanded he never look back while riding again. Seo Eui-joon, however, spoke gently. He couldn't control himself. That's just how it is when you like someone. All your gaze becomes fixed upon them. That day at the beach, Seo Eui-joon and Geum-joo shared a deep, passionate kiss. They became completely immersed in their intense affection. Later, the two encountered Geum-joo's sister and their friend Bong Seon-yuk. Bong Seon-yuk was single and unmarried, yet harbored deep feelings for Geum-joo's divorced sister who had children. Recently, he frequently pursued her with great determination. However, in front of Geum-joo and Seo Eui-joon, the two concealed their mutual affection. Geum-joo and Seo Eui-joon, absorbed in their own romance, remained completely unaware of the relationship between her sister and Bong Seon-yuk. They even persuaded both to dig for seafood by the shore. At the beach, Geum-joo and her sister simultaneously got stuck in muddy ground. Instinctively, Bong Seon-yuk rushed toward her sister in an instant. Geum-joo witnessed this, but her easygoing nature prevented her from noticing anything unusual. Only when the four sat side by side resting on the sand, noticing the gaze Bong Seon-yuk directed at her sister, and recalling Seo Eui-joon's words that, "The look when you like someone cannot be hidden," did Geum-joo suddenly realize the relationship between her sister and Bong Seon-yuk. In the car home, Geum-joo remained silent. Her sister and Bong Seon-yuk assumed she had argued with Seo Eui-joon. After getting out of the car, Geum-joo confronted her sister directly. Her sister's reaction confirmed Geum-joo's suspicions. However, Geum-joo did not approve of this relationship. Bong Seon-yuk had an older biological sister who treasured him dearly. always wanting to find the best girlfriend for her brother. But Han Geum, Joo's sister, was not only divorced but also had 2 children. In the eyes of countless people, including Han Geum-joo, this relationship was unsuitable. Hearing this, Han Geum, Joo's sister, felt disheartened. She had believed her younger sister would at least support her. The next day at work, Han Geum-joo intended to send her sister an apology message, but hesitated, drafting and deleting it repeatedly. Due to Han Geum, Joo's promotion, the company sent congratulatory gifts to Han Geum, Joo's parents. Learning of their daughter's promotion, her parents were overjoyed, especially her mother, who immediately boasted to friends about her capable daughter, inviting them to a lavish meal. Han Geum, Joo's mother, met Seo Eui-joon. She remarked that Seo Eui-joon had good taste for choosing her daughter. After speaking, she hurriedly got up to prepare nutritious soup for her busy working daughter. But just steps away, her mother collapsed to the ground. Seo Eui-joon immediately took Han Geum, Joo's mother, to the hospital. Tests revealed she had acute hepatitis. The doctor stated the condition was critical and required an organ transplant. After settling their mother into the hospital, Han Geum-joo asked her sister to go home first. Her sister needed to pick up the children after work. While talking, Han Geum-joo apologized for the previous night's incident. As a younger sister, she fully understood her sister's struggles. When her sister went to collect the children, she found Bong Seon-yuk had already picked them up. He was taking excellent care of them. Bong Seon-yuk had learned about their mother's illness and wanted to help however possible. But her sister said something harsh to Bong Seon-yuk, hoping to end their relationship. Her mother was sick, yet she'd spent these days focused only on romance. This guilt overwhelmed her. The hospital where Han Geum, Joo's mother, stayed was where Seo Eui-joon formerly worked, though filled with painful memories for Seo Eui-joon. Back when he served as a doctor there, his gambling-addicted father confronted him. During their altercation, a nurse accidentally hit her head and died. This tragedy led others to label Seo Eui-joon a murderer. Han Geum, Joo's family, underwent medical evaluations. Neither her father nor sister qualified as liver donors due to their health. All hope rested on Han Geum-joo, but test results brought bad news. The doctor stated, Han Geum, Joo's fatty liver levels exceeded normal range, making transplantation impossible. Though alcohol-free for some time, past alcohol consumption had irreversibly damaged her body. Overwhelmed by regret, Han Geum-joo lamented her past reckless drinking. Had she shown restraint earlier, she could now save her mother. To save her mother, Han Geum-joo began running frantically to improve her physical fitness. Through day after day of persistence, the proportion of fatty liver in Han Geum-joo's body rapidly decreased. She finally became eligible to donate to her mother. However, upon learning her daughter would be the donor, her mother absolutely refused. She wouldn't allow her daughter to undergo surgery, just to prolong her own life. For her daughter's health, she'd rather give up her life. Han Geum, Joo's father, felt conflicted, wanting to save his wife yet reluctant to sacrifice his daughter's health. Han Geum-joo comforted him. "Our bodies come from our parents. Donating to mom is only natural." That night, Han Geum-joo continued persuading her mother. Her mother pretended to sleep, but heard every word her daughter said. When Han Geum-joo was absent, Seo Eui-joon talked heart-to-heart with Han Geum, Joo's mother. To Seo Eui-joon, Han Geum-joo and her mother were strikingly similar. They'd even said identical words. Both felt they hadn't done enough for each other. To meet the donation requirements, Han Geum-joo never stopped running for exercise, even during torrential downpours. Seo Eui-joon urged Han Geum, Joo's mother, not to waste her daughter's devotion. Accepting the donation was the best decision for both. Moved, Han Geum, Joo's mother, finally changed her mind and agreed to accept her daughter's donation. The mother's surgery proceeded smoothly. After 1 month of rest, Han Geum-joo returned to work in Seoul. Her automotive repair talents shone brightly in the workplace. Strangely, after this surgery, Han Geum-joo didn't feel fatigued. Instead, her whole body brimmed with energy. One day after work, Han Geum-joo chatted casually with her sister Han Hyun-joo. Han Hyun-joo had resolved to give up on Bong Seon-yuk. Since their mother's illness, Han Hyun-joo decided to focus fully on taking over the family's guest house. She currently had no time to think about men. Bong Seon, UK's sister, who was Han Hyeon, Ju's close friend, planned to set her up on a blind date. The man was divorced, just like Han Hyun-ju. Han Hyun-ju intended to decline her friend's offer, but the friend arranged the meeting without permission. Seeing photos of Han Hyun-ju meeting the man, Bong Seon-yuk was heartbroken. That day, the drunken Bong Seon-yuk waited outside Han Hyun-ju's home. He humbly begged her not to see that man. Han Hyun-ju nearly reached out to comfort him, but her friend hurriedly stopped her. The truth was, her friend had discovered her brother's relationship with Han Hyun-ju. She considered Han Hyun-ju her best friend, but Bong Seon-yuk was her only brother. She couldn't allow her brother to marry a single mother with 2 children. To make Han Hyun-ju give up, she threatened suicide. Witnessing this, Han Hyun-ju promised to completely sever ties with Bong Seon-yuk. Today was Eui-joon's birthday. They rode a cable car to enjoy the view, took selfies together, and played in the snow. Eui-joon wrote confession words in the snow for Han Geum-joo. For Eui-joon, every day spent with Han Geum-joo was unforgettable. Returning home that night, Eui-joon received a celebratory video from Han Geum-joo. Only through Eui-joon's companionship had she found courage during countless difficult moments. As the video ended, Han Geum-joo brought out a birthday cake. Eui-joon wished for this happiness to last forever. Under romantic lighting, they embraced. Watching Han Geum-joo sleeping peacefully beside him, Eui-joon had nearly forgotten his nightmares. Yet that night, the demons still came. Overwhelmed by guilt, Eui-joon spent the entire night sleepless. The next morning, Han Geum-joo saw a note left by Eui-joon saying he had urgent matters to handle. At that moment, a bad feeling arose in Han Geum-joo's heart. Actually, she had already sensed Eui-joon's preoccupation. During his birthday yesterday, Han Geum-joo personally noticed Eui-joon's troubled state, but she didn't know the reason behind it. Eui-joon went to meet a middle-aged woman. She was the deceased nurse's mother. After the incident years ago, Eui-joon gave her compensation money in the hospital's name. Only now did the woman learn the money came from Eui-joon. She immediately returned it. She couldn't forgive Eui-joon and his father, demanding he stop trying to ease his guilt with money. At the supermarket that evening, Han Geum-joo overheard 2 nurses whispering about Eui-joon, calling him a murderer. Han Geum-joo searched online and finally learned about this past incident. The internet was filled with condemnations of Eui-joon. Though not the direct killer, people believed he should bear responsibility for the nurse's death. The incident occurred exactly on Eui-joon's birthday. Only then did Han Geum-joo realize why Eui-joon seemed so troubled on his birthday. Eui-joon went to pay respects to the nurse. She was beautiful and kind-hearted. Before the incident, she had even brought him a birthday cake. After the incident, Eui-joon went to the memorial hall, but the nurse's mother grappled with him and expelled him. Recalling the past, Eui-joon's tears streamed down. He wanted happiness, but felt unworthy of it. Night rain fell as Eui-joon walked alone in the downpour. Suddenly, an umbrella appeared behind him. It was Han Geum-joo. Han Geum-joo embraced Eui-joon, her voice gentle. She believed none of this was his fault, urging him to stop blaming himself.